we have to graph these two functions here. F of x equals to x squared, and then g of x equals to x squared minus 3. As you guys can see, there's a relationship between those two functions, okay? And we will see that while we're graphing them. So the first one, f of x equals to x squared. So we're going to use the x and the y values table that we all know how to operate at this point. So this is x, this is y. That's why we call it x and the y values table, okay? So we're going to choose small values for x and find the corresponding values for y. So that means we're going to have what? We're going to have negative 2, for example, negative 1, 0, 1, and then 2, okay? So these are pretty small values. So we're going to get now the corresponding values for y. So what's going to happen? So for the corresponding values for y, we can come here and then say x equals to negative 2, and then we find it from the f function, correct? So we're going to call it y equals to then negative 2 to the second power, which is what? Negative 2 times negative 2, which is positive 4. When x equals to negative 1, then we're going to go through the same thing. It's going to be then y equals to negative 1 to the second power equals to what? Equals to positive 1. Okay? So that's what this is all about so far. So now let's put it here. So we have positive 4, positive 1, 0, 1, and then 4. So that's what we get for the first function. So let's go ahead and then graph it, okay? So we have 0 here, 0, 0. That's right there, the center there, right? Then we have negative 1, 1. So negative 1 for x. So this is the x-axis, this is the y-axis. Negative 1 and positive 1. So that's one of the points there, okay? So negative 2, positive 4. Negative 2, positive 4. This is it. Then we go 1, 1. So that's 1, 1. And then 2, 4. All right? 2 and then 4. This is it. So let's graph it and make sure that we're doing it right. And this is actually a symmetric function. All right, let me keep it neat. So this is it for f of x. So we have our f of x here, right? So now we're going to get out g of x. And g of x equals to what? X squared minus 3. So in the normal course of actions, what we are going to do is to do the x and the y values table, and then using this equation here to solve for the y corresponding values. But we're going to do something a bit different. Why? Because there's a relationship between the two of them, right? So the relationship is this one is still x squared, but minus 3. And because this g of x is the same thing as y, so it's like writing y equals to x squared minus 3, okay? It's just the same thing. So now if it is, that means negative 3 is a y value. And this is y-axis, so, and then that's a negative 3. So we go 1, 2, and 3 here. So that means the tip of our new graph is here now. See how simple that can be? All right? And then we can just see that it's going to be, also like the shape of this one here, okay? This parabola function, so that will be also a parabola. But the only difference is that it's going to be this way now, okay? So then we can always just continue like this, but not to make some mistakes in calculations of the point, the coordinates. We can quickly just do what? We can say if x equals to negative 2, then what can we do? So we're going to have then y equals to negative 2 second power minus 3. And negative 2 second power, which is what? 4. And 4 minus 3 is going to give us what? So 4 minus 3 is going to give us 1. Okay? So that means if x equals to negative 2, if x equals to negative 2, right here, so y is going to be 1. So right here. So it's a point here. So automatically that means we're going to have this one also here. All right? So you guys can see. Okay? So if x equals to -1, same thing. So if x equals to -1, x equals to -1. So what's happening? So we have y equals to -1 to the second power minus 3. So that will give us what? That will give us +1 minus 3, which is then -2. Okay? So if x equals to -1, then y equals to what? -2. So -2 for y is going to be here. Okay? Here also. And then, ladies and gentlemen, you are ready for your new graph. I'm sorry, my Picasso skills, I've lost them. Okay? So this is it, all right? Okay, so and then this one is g of x. So as you guys can see, the moral of the story is what? Is that when you have a function x squared, which is parabola, where you have the tip here, which is on center 0. So the difference is that for this one, x squared minus 3, so that's on the y-axis now. So minus 3 goes there, and then you still have the same shape, okay, not quite the same function, but the same shape, and then going this way. All right, so that's it. Thank you. Voila.